Any question that far?
I had asked a question earlier.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You asked me what process which I have done.
Yeah.
So do I still keep on waiting?
I wanted to ask you a question. Which particular item in the 8 do you feel could come earlier? The answer to your question is the process is well considered. If you try to do something earlier than the other, like example, you bring a collection of leaders, and you yourself are not very clear what you want to tell them. You can see they'll just say, please go and swim better. So there's the process. The process is not done. Things need to follow that flow. But some things you could do, and then when you're in the next thing, you realize you should have done better. So you go back to do it. But you must have thought through the process.
So can it happen? It sounds to me like the proposal you're making, it's organic call. It's organic?
It's organic.
Okay.
It's the way you grow into the system. And the reason why we are going through the 8 steps is because a lot of people don't want to have a process. They want to harvest before planting. Or they want to harvest before weeding. There'll be a problem with the harvest, isn't it? So really, that's why the answer to your question, yes, you need to see that. You need to see the eight, any item. If you bring it earlier, you'll not be quite ready yet. Like the first 4 items, you have not done any change. It's all preparation of change. But if you have a different opinion, just suggest.
I've heard you. I needed to hear that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. My question is about.
I'm happier with Brother Nganga.
Okay.
Because I used to be an elder. I retired. The truth of the matter is, if you go to Sitam, I have no title. So they will start asking, but I thought you retired. Why do you got an elder? So in order to avoid that embarrassment, call me. So that one is mine.
Emeritus.
That's just trying to look for a title. Because emeritus means you are not a pastor. But
Okay,
go on.
my question is how to overcome challenges of bringing change when you are not the top leader. I have suggested, you see, and like yesterday.
Please hold it, and we go through the items.
Oh.
Because that's what we are just about to do. So if you don't mind, that first step is a step. It's called inspiration. Inspiring and enlisting others to change and creating a sense of urgency. And it's a very, very important thing. So, whether you are talking about you are below or above, the people you are talking to, you need some level of charisma that causes them to trust what you are saying is not nonsense. Are we together? But I have 3 suggestions when you come up with an idea and you are not the father of the family. You are just one of the sons. 3 systems. Number 1, think harder. Don't just jump on your father. Think clearly from your angle. Then ask yourself, how would my father buy into this thing? What is it in this change that will serve him personally? Are we together? So that you are thinking of that before going there. You think about it. Think about clearly and think not from your perspective, but from the leader's perspective. Number 2, ask, is there somebody else whom he listens to better? You know, some women even know that there's a daughter the man of the house listens to. So it's when the children become adults. Are we together? So instead of pushing yourself as a wife, just convince your daughter. Once the idea has come from the daughter, say that again. What did you mean? Have you talked to your mother? She is also okay with it. Let's go. Your strategy was such that whereas you He can say no to you, but there's a person he listens. And everybody has that kind of people. So you go to them so that the same idea will come. Of course, if you really are after fame, you can't win. But what you are after is not to be famous, not to be said you are the one who came up with the idea, but to see the group get the benefit. Because you see, your daughter will say she's the one who suggested. You'll not be able to say, but it is really me. No, you go. Thirdly, we are still trying to bring change, inspiring change, and we are not the leader of the group. We are suggesting that for that to happen, you can start with the several people who are not one to go, but a bigger group. Like if you have a management team, let everybody else agree. Only one is missing, the leader. Once you have gotten everybody in, by the time you suggest it, then another manager said, yes, by the way, we are too late. We should have done. Your guy is only listening. If only you had suggested to have been viewed. But because others are supporting the idea, it will be accepted. Now, not one person, but a group that are in agreement. Does that make sense?
Yes. What will become like incitation?
Or organizational politics.
Remember, we need to come out clear that what you are getting is not a personal gain. It's for the good. In other words, the leader is the one who will benefit the most. Because you'll be thought to be doing something very good, isn't it? So as long as he can see it is him benefiting, not you, it will not be called incitement. Incitement is when you want to do wrong, you want to make it unsafe for the leader. Isn't that why you use the word incitement? You don't incite for the good of the leader, you incite for their ego, isn't it? So that's why it started by the idea must not be for personal gain, it must be for the group gain. And so that this is a very, very important thing. Please pass it. The second one, you are just discussing an idea. Now give yourself a research time. And this research is a big thing. Confirm the exact state of affairs, scientifically, objectively. Research must investigate the probable causes and must explore the probable solutions. So you are now doing an academic exercise. Are we together? But some people want to jump from an idea in their head to actually starting to change without this research. Now you can see why I'm insisting. If you jump the step, they will bring you trails. You need to come out clear. The only thing is you can be at an inspiring level, come back to research, then change something about something because of the research you have. You go back to number one. But you still must start with number one before going to number two. And so many projects fail because there was no proper research. Let's first of all do number 3. So 3 says community of change leaders. And I've kept talking about that, isn't it? Look for early adapters in your group and find a way, like if you have 10 children, find children who easily adapt. There are people who resist change. Talk to them about the new idea before bringing it to the whole family. By the way, the other example I gave is a bad example. If a wife cannot talk to you and has to go through the daughter, you are dysfunctional. You are not a biblical family. Am I communicating? Because that child is not part of your marriage. Children are visitors. Only the visit is very long, 20 years. But they are still going to live. After they have left, how will you be left with a woman you cannot talk to? Or a man you cannot talk to? So please don't take that I gave you an example to follow. Unless you have a dysfunctional family. But it's important to understand the importance of this collision. If you jump to the whole group, you will be fought to the nail. Why don't you first of all go to a small group so it stops now being your idea, become the group's idea. So people who don't like you, but they like Wajiro, they'll start If it was Kamau, I would have refused. But Wanjiru, she's normally sensible. So you need a collation. Can you see the value of this collation? Yeah. And it takes time to get them to all agree. Then, with the research you have done, and now that you have a group, you can design the process. This is the vision design for change. Address purpose of change. At this level, you write a paper that everybody can follow. Why are you changing? What does the finished product look like? Vision means a completed thing. You must describe so well the end product that everybody will want to have it. I keep telling people vision is like they do in architecture. So far, you have not even bought land in Gom. But one day you hope to have your own house. Yeah. So if you really want your family to be willing to sacrifice, get an architect to draw a house in Gom. You haven't even bought a plot. And draw a 3D. You know, you can see children running in the house. Bring it to your family and say, this is the house you want to go to. Yes. Children say, Papa, when? We can't go. Why? We don't have money. But if we could stop eating sausages, eat eggs only three times in a year, we are likely to be there in 3 years. Wow. Everybody will stop. My friend, children are saying, will you go there, Papa? Yes. No sausages. No, I like to keep quiet. They are fighting to ensure. Because once the vision is clear, they are committed to sacrifice to get it. Are we together? Yes. So it's very, very important that you design the vision such that people can see. Not just from your perspective. Everybody must see what is in it for me. Are we together? Sunday school, how will it benefit? Women ministry, how will it benefit? What about exposition of the Bible? How does it look like? It must be well stated. So you are able to clarify where we are going, what will success look like. Then that way you motivate and inspire a buy-in. I told you what buy-in stands for. Inspire behavior change, define specific areas that need to change, define clear target to work towards. That stage is very, very important. So that you are not talking, but I think could. You must now talk like you really know where you want people to be going. Now, number 5, now that it's clear where you are going, you are clear what the challenges are, you now can have a strategy. Are we together? That this thing cannot be done in 2 years. We'll achieve it in 5 years. But we can build this wall so many meters per semester. And then you are able to you are now starting to help the people to gain the capacity. Critical resources needed to affect change. Barriers to change must be eliminated. For example, if you want ERP, a lot of training is concerned, isn't it? Yeah. Paperless society. When people have always been using papers, isn't it? Yeah. When we did that in Shell, a few people who are over 50 just retired. Just said, surely, at my age. I'm going back to school for what? And it's a whole manager, you're asking him to go to run IT. Yeah. Maybe it's younger people. So it's important to understand you can't achieve it without capacity improvement. And you must be clear what are likely barriers and what will you do. What resources do you require to overcome them? Then now number 7, after all the 6, now you have a strategic plan for that particular change. You have a strategic plan. So, you now want to roll it out. It's called execution or implementation. Number 1, communicate for change. You need everybody now to come into it. So you communicate. That is the first step. And we can talk about change. Message must be simple and compelling. Use stories a lot. And I could go on and talk about the various various you can do, things you can do in the change. No such thing as too much communication. Communicate. When you are doing those changes, every time there's a meeting, you pass on the message. It's just a small aspect. Although that was not the subject of the meeting. After 2-3 months, everybody is this thing. When is it happening? Now you come to number 2, delegating. The coalition of like-minded people cannot carry the project. You must divide up the work. Who will do what? And then you start action. It is people of action that change the world. Action requires courage, the willingness to take risks. I've kept talking about that, isn't it? You can't. Every change is a risk you are taking. The readiness to face opposition, because you know people oppose you. The readiness to admit mistakes, poor decisions. If you are going to make a mistake and don't admit it, people will leave you on your own, isn't it? But if you accept, I made a mistake, this one, he is human, we'll support him. And make good corrections. We are still on implementation. It's perseverance. Do not give up. The process may take 2-3 years. Don't give up along the way. And I think that will be important. And then once perseverance is done, I wanted to highlight this one. Resisting internal possession. Self, you'll be accused of blah blah. You have to deal with yourself. Power, pride, money, sex, lack of trust for some of your followers. All these are things you need to deal with. Like, for example, the person you have who is going to be the project leader is a lady, very beautiful lady, and you are the CEO. So you have to be together very often. Say, no, there's no project here. This was calculated so the wife cannot accuse him. But you know what they're up to. That project will fail, am I right? Yes. So you have to think of all those things. Now, number 8. Once the project has been implemented, you need evaluation. You need to measure progress, make necessary improvement all along the way. And the strategic plan will say, after a year, after 2 years, how will you be assessing and evaluating the process? Cycle time of full change process, too long to wait for evidence, track, and celebrate achievements on intermediate goals. So don't wait for the final look. Please, every year, see what is, or every 3 months, see what is changing, and celebrate. Once you achieve something little, shout about it. We achieved this. Although it's just 10% of the total achievement. Yeah, people can say, oh, it's progressing. If you can make 10%, I can see us going to 90. But if you look down on 10, you say, this thing is too much. I don't think we'll ever be able to achieve it. Now, I want, who has not read, who wants to read the final card? Just stand and read. Who is reading? Yeah, go ahead.
Application. Being a change agent brings about transformation. Good leaders provide the right support for their constituencies throughout the change process. Since change brings into stress, even when it is positive, leaders must have the foresight and planning abilities to ensure the change is constructive and minimal in human cost. Character and skills are essential to effective change leadership. What are the challenges you face in bringing about change for good in your current situation? Identify an area where you plan to lead change. Develop a plan of action for that change. Identify key people and groups with whom you can collaborate in bringing about these changes.
That's why I'm calling it application. I hope before we finish that you are going to, I trained for a group called ILF, and I normally use the same notes. But I'm just hoping before the end of today, you scribble down a personal change you want to undertake, a family change you want to undertake, a neighborhood change or community change, and then organizational change. And maybe for some of you, maybe a national change. Write what you can. Then you can work on it later. But first of all, just think about an area you like to change.